This morning we're going to take out the rear axle. That's going to necessitate taking off this prop shaft and also disconnecting these rear brakes. They may need bleeding. I don't even know if there's any fluid in there, so we'll check that. On top of that, it finally means I'll be able to remove this fuel tank. That's a lot of nasty down there. Well, I don't think these conical shaped wheel nuts are quite the right size, so probably going to have to source some sleeve type wheel nuts. There we can see the very nice high spec calipers. But it does look like I've got a seal leak from the rear axle, so I think new seals are going to be in order. And finally, I get to take the fuel tank out. The next task involves taking the rear axle off. However, we also need to remove the braking system to make that happen. Both of the master cylinders are full of fluid. There's brake pads in the rear calipers, but seemingly there's no brake pads in the front calipers. We've got some nice Girling master cylinders there. This one on the left hand side is the rear, but they are not coming off without a fight. A wrench. Let's see if a wrench will work. As expected, there are no pads in there. Now we've got the front wheels off, you can actually see that this front upright is really rather well made. It's actually got an aluminium bell for the brake disc, an aluminium hub, and these really tasty high spec calipers as well. It's all mated to this really nice aluminium machined hub, which I'm going to remanufacture, so I changed the geometry a little bit, but yeah, this is going to be a really nice front end when it's done. The rear hub is really nice as well. We've got the high spec twin pot calipers as well for this end, and this 18mm rear spacer, which is well within the regulation spec. In order to remove the rear axle, I really must remove the brake calipers, or at least the brake lines that feed the brake calipers. These pop shaft bolts are almost certainly the wrong size. This is an English axle, so the bolts almost certainly need to be of an imperial size, but this 13mm spanner fits nicely over them and there's plenty of play in the bolt. The bolt for the lower A-arm, as you can see, actually juts out underneath the floor. Now I suspect that's what's been catching on the ground when I've been pushing it around. So at a very minimum, that bolt will have to be turned around so the thread's going up. That is what you call a close fit.